cause I know that I'm the one. I ain't never stressed cause I know I'm number one. I ain't even pressed cause I know that I'm the one. Know that I'm the one for you. I ain't got flex cause I know that I'm the one. I ain't never stressed cause I know I'm number one. I ain't even pressed cause I know that I'm.
Guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Latia, and this is the life of Latia Aubrey. If you watched my last video, then you would know that I said I was gonna give an update on my mental health and how everything has been going as far as it pertains to me going to counseling and me dealing with bouts of anxiety and depression and everything. So ready to get into it, but before we get into that, I have a new segment that I want to introduce on my channel where I'm going to play music from my artists from my hometown. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm going to play a clip of their music for 30 seconds to a minute, and I don't know who I'm going to pick this week, but whoever it is, that's what you're about to see next, so check that out.
How can I tell you how I feel when we barely keep it real with ourselves? Tell me please, where will we begin? Skipped a couple steps, now we're too deep in. Maybe this is just a special case and we'll be okay. But I'll take the full blame if that's okay. If that's okay.
So I hope you enjoyed the artist and check their music out. All of their stuff will be linked below. You know, if they have SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, whatever it may be, all of that will be in the description box. Yeah, in the description box. So let's get into it. These past few weeks have been a journey, like literally a journey. Did I say 2 weeks? Few weeks, however long. I think it's been a month since I last uploaded. So the past month has been real hectic for me, and if I get emotional throughout this video, like literally pay me no mind. It's just me being very open and transparent with you guys on how I've been dealing with everything and, you know, coping with a lot, and then how counseling has been uncovering a lot for me, that a lot of stuff that I thought that I had gotten over, or not even gotten over, that I like just brushed to the side, that I really didn't. So let's do that. So this past week in itself, and the week just started, but today was a day. Last night I went to bed. Today is what, Monday? Today is, I be trying to keep up with the dates and I can't. Today is Monday, June 15th. So last night was Sunday, the 14th. Last night I went to bed. I was feeling, you know, a little uneasy. I mean, I wasn't really feeling like me. I had a lot on my mind, and so I was like, okay, I'll have my brother, because sometimes when I get into those modes, I have my brother sleep in my room with me. So, you know, I text him like can you come in my room, and can you, you know, stay here with me tonight? Like when I get into modes where I know I'm going to end up having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, or if my mind is everywhere. So he came in, and, you know, we stayed up for quite a while, and I really didn't get much sleep. I'd say I got maybe 2-3 hours of sleep, and if that, and I was back up. But once I woke up, no lie, it was like all these thoughts started rushing through my mind. And like this morning, I just was having so many like suicidal thoughts, and I'm going to be very open and like transparent, and I'm sorry if I get emotional. It is what it is. This morning I just woke up and I'm just like, okay, you know, what's the point? Why? You know, I'm over this. I'm over it. Like, I'm ready to check on out of here. And I went downstairs. You know, my mom, I had ended up staying home from work because I wasn't feeling too well. And I woke up nauseous, throwing up, and I wasn't feeling too well. And And so my mom was like, go downstairs, get you some breakfast or whatever. But when I went downstairs, literally breakfast was on my mind. I said, I'm gonna go down here and whatever happens next is what's gonna happen next. And I had like a moment where I'm like, okay, I just had so much on my mind, and it was just like becoming so overwhelming. Like this morning, it was just like all these thoughts came out of nowhere. And I wouldn't say nowhere, but I've been okay lately, and I wouldn't say I've been okay, but I've been doing stuff to keep my mind like straight. I try to keep myself busy, because if I sit too long, that's when the thoughts start flowing through my mind. So I went downstairs, I had me some food, and literally like I couldn't stop crying. I'm sitting there eating my breakfast, and I'm like literally like hyperventilating in tears. So I'm still having these thoughts. Like literally the first thought on my mind was to go in the kitchen, grab a knife, and end it all. And I'm being so open with you guys. And I went downstairs, and I got to the kitchen, and I just stopped in my tracks, and I'm like, okay, wait a second, like what is going on? So I called the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and I ended up talking to a guy, and we talked for quite some time. And that eased me out for a bit, because like literally I had my mindset on something, and I was gonna do what I had my mindset on. And I ended up coming back upstairs and talking to my mom, and I was like, Mom, today is really like I'm struggling like heavy. Like today is a day for me. And I just cried. I just sat there, and I cried, and I cried, and I just began to tell her like a lot of stuff that's happening right now. I literally don't understand it. It's like I've dealt with being depressed, but I've never been in this space that I'm in right now. It's like you could see me some days and think nothing's wrong, but literally in my mind I have 1,000 things going on in my mind. And I've been trying to balance that out lately, and I'm not gonna lie and say it has been easy, because it's been literally far from that. Like some days it's hard to even get out the bed. Some days it's hard to leave out of my room. Some days I just want to lay here and cry. Some days I just don't want to be bothered. Like I just want to turn my phone off and just chill. Like just not even chill, just sit here and just be in silence. But then when I'm in silence, my mind gets going and the thoughts start to go on. So I know that isn't the greatest thing for me right now. I had that happen this morning. I'm being very open and transparent with you guys, because that's who I am. I'm a very open book when I need to be, and I feel like this is something that I need to be transparent about, because there's somebody out there that could be experiencing the same thing, or not even the same situation as mine, but could be feeling these same feelings that I feel. You may not know what to do, but there's always somebody there to help you, and somebody is always there for you. And so that was that this morning. And today has been I've been chilling since then. I went out, got some fresh air. I went to go see my cousin. That brightened up my day. I haven't seen her in a while. Went to see her and baby. I went to get my nose ring changed, which is just a story in itself. But that really brightened up my day, because I just having a rough morning. And so that's that. And I got that little story out the way. But as far as counseling goes, I have gone to 3 sessions thus far, and they have been helping me immensely. I realized that everything isn't going to happen overnight for me, but I also realized that a lot of stuff in my life that I thought I had gotten over or gotten past, I hadn't. And for a lot of people who don't know, I met my biological father when I was 10. Was I 10? I met him when I was 10. And my dad, that's my world, my best friend. Like even he called me today. My dad, he calls me randomly sometimes, but today was really random. But I know it was like strategic for him to be calling me when he did. But scratch that. Back to what I was saying. The guy who I thought was my father, we have a decent relationship now, but going through counseling, I realized that that situation was a situation that I really hadn't really dealt with. It's like, okay, it happened, but now that I was 10 years old then, I'm about to be 25 and in a few months, and it's just like I've never really sat and thought about everything that had taken place, being that I was a young girl then, but now it's like I'm getting older, and I realized that situations that happened then play a part in how I deal with certain stuff now, and how I respond to certain situations. And sometimes I tell myself, oh, you good, you over it, but I come to realize that I ain't good and I ain't over it. So that's been another part of my journey, healing from that, and learning to forgive, and understanding that everything happens for a reason, and stuff literally happens because it happens, and it's nothing that I have any control over, nor do I want any control over the situation. It's just a situation that I need to deal with, and come to an agreement with it with myself. So that's another thing that I've been dealing with. But the main thing now is like it's trying to get a hold of my feelings and my emotions and my thoughts, and trying to come to a place where I can be like calm and mellow. And I know it won't happen overnight because everything is still fresh as it regards to my son passing away. But I realized, like, since that's happened, like my mental health has really like been to the floor. Like, some days I wake up and it's just like, yo, okay, I'm alive, but like, for what? And I realized that I can't have that mindset. I my cousin, I love my cousin, I'm not going to say her name on here because she might not want me to, but I talk to her a lot, and I might get emotional right now, but I texted her earlier, and I just was explaining to her everything that I was feeling, and I'm like, yo, I don't, someday I woke up this morning like extremely suicidal, like I just didn't want to be here. And it's like her message back to me like encouraged me so much, because it's just like me and her, we joke around a lot, but it felt good to know that you have somebody that genuinely cares, outside of what you could do for them or how you can help them, somebody that's gonna be there for you no matter what. And like, she's a person, between her, my sister and my boyfriend, my parents, they've really been, and God, of course, but people here in my life, they've really been helping me through this journey, because some days I really just have days where I feel like I'm like losing my entire mind, and it's like I have to realize, like, people are here for me to talk to for a reason, and there's no reason for me to hold this stuff in when I know I have people in my corner who will always be there for me, who always listen. It's just me allowing myself to release and to not feeling like I'm being a burden, because I know I'm not a burden to any of them, but these are the thoughts that cross through my mind sometimes, like, oh, they don't want to hear this all the time, or they don't want to be bothered with this all the time. But I realize that they're here for me for a reason. And my mom is my everything. Like, this morning, and my mom always knows when something's wrong, but I woke up, I told her I was nauseous, and I went downstairs to have my whole little episode. When I came back upstairs, I just sat there and I just like, I cried and I cried and I cried, and I was like, yeah, Ma, I don't know. And it's like, honestly, some days I have to take a break from like social media. I have to take a break from a lot of things, because seeing baby stuff is still like a trigger to me sometimes, and that gets me literally worked up, because it's just like some days I have thoughts like, okay, and I'm gonna be completely open and transparent, there's people out here having kids that don't want them, and here I am. I was more than excited to be a parent, and I didn't get what I was expecting. So that's been, I apologize, but that's been the space that I've been in as of recently. So it's like, dealing with those emotions, and knowing that it's okay to be upset, but I can't allow myself to stay in that space. And that's a space that I've been in for a while, because that when I first had my son, I was so ready to get out of the hospital, even though they had me in a place where I couldn't hear babies cry. But leaving, seeing moms hold their babies, that was really like a struggle for me, because it's just like I carried him for 6 months to lose him within minutes, and that's been like a struggle too. And I excuse my crying, but I'm just being very open, because there's probably somebody out there that's going through something similar, and it doesn't have to be the loss of a child. And I wouldn't say loss, because I know where he is, but the passing of a child, who's no longer here. It could be you lost a mother, a grandmother, anybody, but just know that you're never alone. And if you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm always here. You could comment in the comments. If you want to leave your social media in the comments, I'm always here. And I also, I always put the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number. Is going to be in one of these corners. But I really made this video, because I want to encourage someone and let them know, like, you're not alone. Like, if anybody is going through this, we're going to be in this journey together, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to push through this, and we're going to come out of this greater than we've ever been. And people may have their little judgy little whatever they got going on, because oh, how can you be a Christian, be saved, and have these feelings? Listen, I'm a human, and I have human emotions. And one thing my pastor always says, you can be depressed, but don't allow yourself to stay in that space. And that replays in my mind often, because it's like, okay, I'm here, but I know I can't stay here, and I'm gonna have to get myself up out of here. So that's a place that I've been in, like trying to channel my emotions and deal with my anxiety, and just come to terms with a lot of things in my life, come to terms with the passing of my son, because we're coming up on what would have been his original due date. And I believe that that's where a lot of my emotions are coming from, because it's like, come July 22nd, what I was expecting is no longer here. So that's been a space that I've been in. But I believe I got everything that I needed to say off of my chest, and I literally made this just to encourage someone out there, like, you're not alone. If you're having these feelings, that you're not alone. You're not a monster for having these feelings. We're humans. We go through these things. Life happens. Things happen that may rock our world, shake our world up a bit. And I believe this is a situation for me that I'm going through that is going to put me in position for something greater. And I truly believe that out of this will come great things. I don't know what it is, but I know something good is going to come out of all of this. So that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm always here. I'll leave my social media links in the description box. If you ever need anybody to talk to, I'm here. And that's all for me. Peace until next time.
Why would I sacrifice the bond I have with my man to backtrack in the past? It's like dropping rubies to big trash. I'm not stupid, no, I won't do that. So just forget it. I'm moving towards my future, you ain't in it. I'm so sorry that it took